let's talk about Man of Steel. This was the first film in the DCEU as it was directed by Zack Snyder. As with this film, a boy learns that he has extraordinary powers and it is not of this earth. As a young man, he journeys to discover where he came from and what he was sent here to do. But the hero in him must emerge if he wants to save the world and become a symbol of hope for mankind. As with Man of Steel, it is pretty much an entirely new Superman that is alienated, misunderstood, but forever a beacon of hope. And I'm going to be honest, this was a film that I was mixed about when it first came out, but the more I watch it, the more I enjoy it a bit more. As with this, it introduces Henry Cavill as Superman, and he was a phenomenal Superman. What he did as Superman was amazing. As we get Amy Adams as Lois Lane, Michael Shannon as General Zod, Russell Crowe as Jor-El, Diane Lane as Martha Kent, Kevin Costner as Jonathan Kent, and Lawrence Fishburne as Perry White. The cast in this was amazing. It does have a phenomenal cast. And with the story of Superman being a bit misunderstood, I do believe that Henry perfectly portrayed that. He had pretty good dynamics with Amy Adams, Lois Lane for the most part. And I do think that Zod was a pretty good villain. How it explored Krypton in the beginning was very interesting, and Russell Crowe did good as Jor-El. How Jonathan Kent was, I wasn't really a fan of, to be honest. I think that how the character was could have been better, but I did like how Martha was. And with this film, it is a very interesting new take on Superman. Well, new for the time. That has its ups and downs. Clark Kent being a bit of an outcast, I think that works. Him trying to find his place in the world as he is saving people, that worked. And it does have its great moments from the first fight scene. Moments of him saving the day when he actually saves the day. And his interactions with Lois, I thought those were great. His interactions with his adopted mother Martha, I thought those were great. Even the moments of him and Jor-El. Henry Cavill, he was a phenomenal Superman. And with the right script, he just could have been the best. Which in my opinion, he is the best. Like with this film, it does have a phenomenal score from Hans Zimmer. And pretty cool cinematography. But I will say, this is a film I'm a little bit mixed about. Like, with this film, it tries to go for like a god complex for Superman. More like a what if Superman was a god, and I don't think that worked for the character. I do not think that fits the character very well. Superman is a hero, he should not be viewed as a god. And with pretty much that final act, the destruction of Metropolis and all that, to me that just didn't work. But besides those flaws, with this film, after each rewatch, it is one that I like a bit more. It is one I appreciate a bit more. And I have to admit, it is disappointing that they never did more with this. They never did more with this version of Superman. As Henry Cavill, like I mentioned, with the perfect script, we could have gotten an amazing Superman movie with him. And it is disappointing that Warner Brothers never utilized with that. Which unfortunately led to Henry Cavill being wasted as Superman. Similar to how Andrew Garfield was wasted as Spider-Man. But at the same time, I did like how this sets up for the DCEU with references to LexCorp, even though the DCEU version of Lex Luthor suck. And how it like teases Batman. All that was pretty cool. But overall, Man of Steel, it is a pretty good Superman movie that has its hits and misses, but yet over time, it is one that becomes better. While I do have my flaws with the film, I do think that this is a pretty good film, regardless of those flaws. We get an amazing Superman with Henry Cavill, and just great moments that doesn't involve a lot of destruction. But what are your thoughts on Man of Steel? Let me know in the comments below and follow me for more.